this afternoon on Chatterbox Live. Today it's McNick against #1 Badin next on Chatterbox Live. Along with Reid Mouse, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here this afternoon. 4-0 are the Badin Rams as they come into this one, and well regarded in the state, the #1 team in the state as far as the Division II ranks are concerned. A little slower start for McNick. McNicholas is 1-3. And because of the way weather has played out, today is the back end of the home and home. The front end came on Monday in Cincinnati. Badin blew out McNick 13-1 on a combined 4-hitter. Eric Rawlings was superb, shutting out the Rockets on 1 hit over 6 innings for a second win this season. The Rockets were undone by 6 errors in the game. The Rams have now won 10 in a row here in this series. And, partner, I got to say, the beat continues to roll on for Brian Treadway.
Yeah, it actually surprised me a little bit. What, was it 10 straight?
10 straight.
10 straight for Badin over McNick. This is a once heralded rivalry. You know, if you ask a bunch of people in the Badin community who is the Rams' biggest rival, a lot of people would say the Rockets. You know, two similar schools just in different areas of Cincinnati, and it's always been a fantastic baseball game. You surprised me a little bit. 10 straight for the Rams. That's impressive.
The last time, by the way, here's your history lesson, McNicholas won in this series. It was on April 25th, 2016, as the Rockets won in walk-off fashion 4-3. Now, 2016 was the last time McNick had won the conference, leading the GCL-CoEd Central Division with a 21-6 record overall, 11-3 in the conference. Now, the Rams would get revenge for that loss on May 27th in the regional 6-1, and you know that very, very well.
Well, I mean, you mentioned McNick winning the 2016 conference title. Badin's been in the GCL since 1991. There's only been one season in which they did not win the GCL title, and that was 2016. They made up for it a little bit by going to the state championship.
Yes, they sure did. And prior to last season, 2016 had been the last time Badin reached the state's Final Four. Obviously, you and I were up there in Akron last June, and they fell in the state semifinals to Bloom Carroll in that one 4-0. And we're going to see, obviously, what this Badin team is made out of, Reid, and given that they are ranked right now #1 in the state.
Yeah, they're a great team. They bring a lot back, a lot of Division I commits, and you know, just a full roster. They've been a great team for many decades, many seasons, and they've got another good squad out here today. And McNick, who's been off to a tough start, they've got a lot of good athletes. You know, they have a state champion wrestler. They have many good athletes that we're going to probably talk about as the game progresses. But, you know, this is a good team that Badin can't sleep on.
Today's mound opponents are a pair of right-handers. Going for McNick is Drew Fulmer. His mound opponent, Justin Hoevel. Hoevel will see the mound here this afternoon. The book on each. Hoevel has a fastball that sits 81-85, has a slider and Treadway. Coach Treadway wants him to add velocity and use the fastball more to his strength. On the other side, the book on Fulmer, mid-80s fastball, curve, working on a changeup. He's the ace of the staff, and he's developed an attitude on the hill as well.
You got to love a good attitude on the hill. You got to have a little bit of swagger when you're in control of the game. Got to work with a good pace. Got to just control the game when you're the starting pitcher, and I'm excited for this one.
And we'll give you the starting lineups while we have a moment here. First, for visiting McNick, the Rockets are 1-3. Their head coach is Brian Gadio this year, though he's been pitching coach the last couple of seasons. Leading off in center field is Jackson Wang. Ben Bobo will bat second. He'll be in right. Tyler Snyder bats third. He's at first base. The cleanup batter is Houston Durkin, followed by Pierce Taylor. He'll bat fifth, and he'll catch this afternoon. Cam Yards will bat sixth. He's the shortstop, batting seventh in the DH. Bobby Diana. Kyle Anstad is the second baseman. He will bat eighth. And then batting ninth is Brady O'Brien in left field. On the other side for the Badin Rams, Brian Treadway in his 10th year as the head coach. Lucas Moore will lead things off in center field, followed by Jimmy Nugent. He's the catcher. The three-hole hitter is Landon Viderick, the shortstop. Batting cleanup and in left field, Rodney Rachel. Caleb Chorley will bat fifth. He'll be at first base, followed by the third baseman, Cooper Fear. Diego DiCello will bat seventh. He's a second baseman, followed by Brady Imhoff, the DH. And rounding things off is Mark Holderbach, the right fielder, this afternoon for Badin. 52 degrees at game time. The winds westerly this afternoon, about 12 miles per hour, though you and I got a chance to see batting practice this afternoon, and the wind was blowing out.
Yes, it was. It was blowing out to left field. It takes a lot for a right-hander to send one out of Alumni Field out here, but they were popping them off the fence left and right, sending them into the trees out there.
And as you're seeing out on your screen, it's the visiting road grays for the McNick Rockets. They've got the black piping and numerals as well. They've got the emblem in green for McNick, and Badin in the home whites this afternoon with the green piping and lettering and numerals as we await our nation's anthem. Just mere moments away from the start of this one at Alumni Field here in Fairfield. Along with Reid Mouse, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Live. Justin Thomas is our producer this afternoon. We are so glad to have you under what are right now dry conditions here in Fairfield. We didn't think that was going to happen earlier this afternoon.
No, we didn't. So you're going to see as we progress this game, our other camera, first time that we're doing a multi-camera setup, that's going to give you the angle from the pitcher, the best we can show you. It might break a little bit in the wind. We had to put a bag around it in case of moisture. We got to protect the equipment first. So if that wavers in the wind, just know that was a safety precaution.
As we get and think to the ball game here, and we're going to see today's starting pitcher in Justin Hoevel warm up. He's got a nice flow on him, by the way.
Yes, he does.
Run differential was stark coming into this ball game. 49-9 in favor from runs scored to runs allowed for Badin. That's a plus 40 through 4 games. On the other side for McNick, 23 that they've scored through 4 games, 33 that they allowed. That's minus 10. That is quite a stark difference.
Absolutely. McNick's played a couple tough opponents already. Obviously played Badin, number 1 team in the state on Monday. They also played a tough team in LaSalle who's got several Division I commits, another GCL South school. So they've played a tough schedule to get this thing going. But, you can throw it out the window as cliche when it comes to 2 rivals as you're seeing today.
We talked to Brian Treadway prior to the ball game talking about today's starting pitcher and Justin Hoevel. Said he was right around 6'6". I don't know. I thought he was a couple inches shorter, or he's grown since football season. In any case, he is an imposing figure out on the hill, thick in the thighs and in the legs.
Yeah, certainly a big guy, and Alumni Field's mound's pretty tall, so it's going to be pretty intimidating standing in that box.
So here comes Jackson Wang to lead off. 455 hitter as he waits on the first one. And this one is off the plate, and away we go here in Fairfield. Wang to be followed by Ben Bobo and Tyler Snyder. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and caught the paint, 1-1. Rachel, Moore, and Holderbach left to right in the outfield. 1-1 pitch coming. And off the plate, 2-1. So we mentioned Rachel, Moore, and Holderbach in the outfield left to right. And the pitch, fastball rides away, 3-1 to set up the rest of the defense. Cooper Fear at third base, Landon Viderick the shortstop, Diego DiCello over at second, Caleb Chorley at first, Jimmy Nugent is catching Justin Hoevel. 3-1. Swing and a miss, we go full.
Yeah, found the strike zone there. I noticed through the first 3 balls that he threw, nothing startling from a starting team to make you think that he's going to be, missing the entire game. Just early outing jitters.
Payoff. It's in the air to right center field, almost in no man's land, but Holderbach is there to record the game's first out. It did hang up. When it came off the bat, I thought it was going to have a little bit more of a line drive. Instead, it got and hit the air a little bit more, and Holderbach was able to catch up to it.
Yeah, certainly, just caught dead out there in right field. Before we get too far in this ball game, I'm surprised you haven't noticed the Badin jerseys, mirroring the San Francisco Giants.
The piping is beautiful, and fouled back, strike 1. Ben Bobo at the plate, 200 hitter here so far through the early part of the season. Playing right field today. 5'8", 150 pounds. So quite a dichotomy between the pitcher and the hitter, and a line shot into right field. Glove by the second baseman. No one is home, and that's an infield base hit.
Yeah, Hoevel didn't get over there to first base to the bag. The first baseman, he leaves his position. Pitcher is supposed to cover anytime. That was just an awkward play because it looked like he had a chance to get out there in right field. So, you know, why leave your mound if you don't have to? But a hit regardless.
Tyler Snyder is the one-out batter. Righty steps in against the righty pitcher. Quite a hitter, in fact. In fact, he was an all GCL-CoEd selection. Runner going. The throw down to second is not in time. It skips by the shortstop, and a stolen base for Ben Bobo.
Yeah, get things going here. First pitch after getting on the base, stealing second. You know, we're going to see Badin do some of similar things when they get on the base pass later on, but, you know, aggressive is the name of the game.
That's the first stolen base this year for Ben Bobo. And Snyder has a runner in scoring position, 1-0 the count. So he was, as we had mentioned, an all GCL co-ed selection a year ago. Tyler Snyder, just a junior, right now off to do a bit of a slow start, 182 hitter, but a year ago hit 447. Now get this line, Reid. He had 8 doubles, 5 triples, and a home run to his tally, and fouled back to the screen.
No, he's got thunder in that bat. You can just tell by the size of him and the aggressiveness at which he takes swings. You know, he doesn't get cheated inside of the box. He's hacking when he's in there, and a physical specimen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Broad-shouldered, thick trunk.
Running back, correct?
Yes.
For the football team. I'll tell you what, if I'm a linebacker, I do not want to meet this guy in the hole.
A long wait, and out of the stretch comes the pitcher in Hoevel. Finally deals the 1-1, and off the plate, down and away, 2-1. Waiting on deck is Houston Durkin.
Anticipate Tyler Snyder to get his right here. You know, he's going to be hacking on this 2-1 count. Beautiful hitting situation, but Hoevel, you know, this is a tough situation to be in, and maybe go off speed.
2-1. And it's down on the ground. The shortstop gathers and throws for the second out. Good job on the collection and throw by Landon Viderick.
Yeah, Viderick obviously a fantastic athlete, the starting quarterback on the football team. And last year he played, you know, several positions, left field, shortstop, third base, first base, wherever they really needed him to fill in. That's where he was serviced, and now he's got the 6 hole pretty much to himself and has done a good job early on in the year.
Houston Durkin to the plate, the 2-out batter, 400 hitters so far, 4 for 10 in the early season. Went 2 for 2, scored 3 times against Western Brown, and it's on the ground. Viderick gets another opportunity, and it's a low throw, but dug out by the first baseman Caleb Chorley, and that's a side.
They leave a runner, we move to the bottom of first.
One left on as we go to the bottom of the frame. No score here at Alumni Field here on Chatterbox Live. No score here at Alumni Field. Along with Reid Mouse, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Live. Badin and McNick this afternoon, and now on the hill. Taking the hill is the ace of the staff, Fulmer. Fulmer coming in. Got roughed up a bit in his last outing. Sports a 3.75 earned run average, 0-1 on the season. Has pitched 9 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 9 runs, 5 of which have been earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. And this is his 3rd appearance of the year.
Yeah, just watching him warm up, over the top delivery, which is typically indicative of a really good breaking ball. You know, 12 to 6 spin typically when you come over top like he does. Got a little velocity, but just watching that breaking ball, he doesn't seem to get on top of it. So we'll see if he can develop a second or third pitch against this Badin lineup.
Gadio is particularly proud of the young man in that he's developing from a thrower to a pitcher, and part of that development came from a start in the middle of the season a year ago where he took a little bit more of an aggression out on the hill. In fact, a nice guy by nature, But all of a sudden, he decided that he needed to change his personality out on the hill, take more command, and it's actually paid off for him.
You can see he just works kind of slow out there in warming up, which typically is a little bit of a swagger move, right? He's not quick in warming up. He likes to be intimidating. And when you throw the ball, you kind of like to have that intimidation factor when you have a little bit of velocity. We'll see how it pays off for him, but I like what I'm seeing here in the early going.
Senior right-hander. In fact, his first start, really a tough lock. No decision in that game. On opening day, he pitched 7 1/3 innings. Gave up only 2 hits in that one. Allowed 4 runs, but none of them were earned. Struck out 5, and it was a no decision against Wyoming on March 28th. So the top 3 in the Badin arsenal, Lucas Moore, Jimmy Nugent, and Landon Viderick. And here comes young Mr. Moore, who impressed everybody a year ago as a sophomore, UK commit, as he waits the first offering as a bouncing ball foul down the first baseline. One of the things we had talked with Coach Brian Treadway about Lucas Moore is he's got so much going for him. Great speed, can play the outfield, great contact, doesn't strike out. We're waiting to see the power tool develop.
Yeah, just a slapper here early on in his career.
Bit down low, 1-1.
He's a guy who, played football up until this past fall, decided to focus more on baseball. We'll see if, he worked on getting the ball up in the air this offseason.
Right down the middle, 1-2. 545 hitter this year, 6 for 11. He's scored 10 times already. Has had double to his credit, has walked 4 times, and has stolen 7 bases already.
Ooh.
Your nightmare, correct?
Yeah, as a catcher, you don't like seeing that, but keep him off the base pass, you don't have to worry about it.
Got him looking, and that doesn't happen very often no more. 1 out.
Well, I was, looking at Fulmer, watching him warm up. I noticed, in the 2 breaking pitches that I saw, not a whole lot of bite. It froze Lucas Moore twice from the left side, and it's something that, he's got working at least through one batter.
Jimmy Nugent, the 1-out batter, 6'2", 190 pounds, a senior, bats him as he throws him to the plate. 333 hitters so far. 4 for 12 on the early season. And the first offering a little bit inside. No real worry for Nugent, ball 1.
Look at that. That attitude, that swagger from Fulmer out on the mound. He didn't change his concentration on Pierce Taylor behind the dish from the second he got that strikeout.
Swing and a miss.
Stoically just waiting on the mound, waiting for Nugent to step into the box. And then gave him, brushed him off the plate a little bit with that first pitch coming right at him. Made him come up empty on a fastball.
Fulmer's ready already. And the 1-1. Fastball down low. 2-1. By the way, so they appealed down to first base, and today's umpire at home plate is Ed Melling. The base umpire is Anthony Hilly. Foul ball.
Jimmy Nugent, when he was hitting on the field here today, I don't know, what level the scouts were, but there were guys here from about 2:30 waiting to see Jimmy Nugent, taking videos him when he was in the cage earlier today. Didn't get a chance to talk to Treadway about who was here to see him.
2-2 to count to the catcher Nugent. Here's the offering, and we'll do it again. Well, he's already committed to Penn State, so it makes you wonder then if he's getting some pro scout looks.
That was my indication. The guys that were here weren't wearing any college affiliation or professional affiliation, but pro scouts typically don't wear any professional affiliation.
Waiting on the 2-2. Downstairs, and we go full. All GCL-CoEd a year ago, has doubled, by the way, in his last 3 straight games. And if you go back to what Nugent did a year ago, he was a .426 batter. He had 3 doubles and 4 triples. How would you like somebody hitting 4 triples, and that's your catcher?
I love the speed there from behind the plate, something that I unfortunately didn't have.
Payoff. Swing and a miss, and the first 2 go down on strikes.
Yeah, Fulmer's in He's looking good out there right now. I was a little intrigued to see him go back-to-back fastballs after the foul ball that went straight back, but he got him there on the full count pitch. Worked a lot, but, getting these first top of the order down.
Landon Viderick is the 2-out batter, 6'1", 165 pounds. Lefty batter hitting .333 this year. All GCL-CoEd selection in both football and in baseball. Lefty batter checks in. Rodney Rachel waiting on deck, and a little change of pace. Count the outside black. It's 0-1.
It's getting ahead.
So young Mr. Fulmer has looked sharp here in this first inning. Here's the strike one offering and fouled off, and just like that, Drew Fulmer is ahead on the count, 0-2.
Yeah, I didn't see if he developed or was working on a jump in that early going, but 0-2 count against a left-hander. He just fouled one off. I would go, something off speed away here.
0-2, and we'll see if he sets up away. The catcher does, and this one rides high, 1-2. Speaking of setting up for him, it's Pierce Taylor behind the plate catching Drew Fulmer. Pierce had played the infield to start the year. And the fastball rides away 2-2. But we were told in the last game, Matt Mitchell, who had started at catcher on Monday, is out with a concussion. So Pierce, who had played catcher a year ago, has moved back behind the plate.
Yeah, great athlete. He'll adapt to anywhere he's played.
Deuce is wild. It's in play. Past the first baseman, base hit. And that's Badin's first base runner here this afternoon. On a solid single to right, and the hits are even at one apiece.
Yeah, they got ahead of him 0-2, tried for the fastball up, then tried for the fastball. Really, neither one were close to getting Viderick to really go for it. Then after you fall behind or even it up at 2-2, you got to go something. You can't throw 5 straight fastballs in the count. Viderick knew it and just laced a breaking ball into right field.
Rodney Rachel is the 2-out hitter. And we got a little stoppage as far as something on the back of the mound is concerned. So we'll reset the defense. Brady O'Brien in left, Jackson Wang in center, Ben Bobo in right, Houston Durkin at third, Cam Yards at short, Kyle Anstad at second, Snyder at first. Pierce Taylor is catching Drew Fulmer.
We will see Landon Viderick run at some point during this at-bat.
Good secondary lead at first. Fulmer will toss on over. It was a long hold. In fact, it's at some point, partner, and you know this here as far as strategy is concerned, when you have a hold that long, if you're at first base with that lead, you might as well just go back.
Absolutely. The one thing that running a lot does is it gets in the pitcher's head. It's not just a tool to move runners across. It makes a pitcher not be at his full wits. He can't fully focus on the task at hand, getting the batter. He's got to worry about everybody on the base paths too.
Rachel had called for time, and we have yet to see a first pitch to Rodney, who had started much of the year in the outfield a year ago, but had shin splints that kept him out for a month. Oh, look at that slide piece, 0-1. So he's got a little break on that one.
Yeah, he's got to work in here in the early going. He's getting it over. Now can he develop it to get him chasing?
Another throw over to first. Landon Viderick over there, as you had mentioned, he's a stolen base threat. And there were so many a year ago, and it's going to become apparent for him as well. Landon's already got 5 steals this year.
Yeah. The one thing that you don't want to do is take your focus off the batter. I know that said that's a recipe from when you bunt so or steal so much.
The catcher on the bunt attempt takes it and inning over. Hitter left. We've played one here in Fairfield. No score between McNick and Badin on Chatterbox Live. To the second we go. No score between Badin and McNick in this GCL-CoEd showdown. Badin's the #1 team in the state, if you believe the sports writers or the Associated Press. They came off an appearance in the state Final Four a year ago, had so much coming back, though partner, of course, they lost some really outstanding players. Sergio Gicello, who went to Charleston Southern.
Sure.
Of course, Ryan Kirkendall, who had been the ace of the staff a year ago. And a young man that I was talking about with one of the coaches here today, A.J. Inninger, who was a second baseman. All he did was hit .330 and steal you 30 bases.
Yeah, all three of those guys already making, well, Sergio not so much. He had some health problems. But, A.J. Ryan Kirkendall already making an impact at the college level for Thomas More and Washington University.
So 5, 6, and 7 coming up. Pierce Taylor waiting on the first pitch. And it must have been just off the plate, ball 1. It looked good from where we were sitting, though we might be just a little bit to an angle to the right.
Yeah, it didn't miss
Of
by
your
a whole
shot.
lot, did it?
1-0. That one certainly did. One and one the pitch, and foul back 1-2. Hoevel making his second start of the year. He had pitched 4 innings his last time out. No hits, an unearned run, struck out 4, got the win. In fact, he was on the front end of a 5-inning no-hitter against Alter. Swing and a miss.
Fooled him there. Just Pierce Taylor wasn't ready for that breaking ball. Down 1-2. I don't know what he's looking for, something differently, but he, instead of saying yes, 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 no, he said no, 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 yes as it crossed the plate and just waved at it.
So that's the first out and the first strikeout recorded by Hoevel. As we had mentioned, he got the win in that 5-inning no-hitter on the 30th, March 30th against Alter, 17-1. And the first pitch down and away to Cam Yards, and you're going to love this name.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his parents knew exactly what he's doing. Knew they were raising a baseball player just by naming him Cam Yards.
And a line drive in the left field. It'll drop in for a base hit. So on a 1-0 pitch, you got something he can handle right over the plate, and that's the second hit of the ball game for visiting McNick.
Yeah, didn't find all of the barrel, but was just strong enough to loft it over Landon Vitterick's head, the one-out single here in the early going.
By the way, Cam Yard's given first name is Cameron, and I was very crestfallen to note that it was not Camden.
And, it seems like they were just so close to fully committing to Cam Yards. They should have just gone full send on it.
Infield looking for 2 against Bobby Diana. Fastball. Paint it black, 0-1. Bobby, a pitcher and a hitter, the DH, 33 hitter. 2 for 3 and a double against LaSalle. And that's been his best game so far as a hitter, 0-1. Swing and a miss on the slow stuff, 0-2.
Yeah, falling behind here, same way that Pierce Taylor did. You can't lose your aggressiveness here, but you can't go just chasing at just anything on this 0-2 count. Make them, challenge you a little bit, the same way that Landon Vitterick did in the bottom half of the first.
The check of first and a step off by the pitcher. No score here in Fairfield between McNick and Badin. Diana spoils one, and he'll do it again. He played some offensive line, defensive line, as I understand it, and has really dedicated himself to trimming down. He wanted to keep some of the weight, but he wanted to refine that weight into true lean muscle.
Yeah, he's a big kid. You can see it, an imposing figure in the left-handed box. I wouldn't be surprised he gets a hold of one. It flies.
We'll do it again. He spoils one away. He weighed in right around 230 pounds during the football season and dedicated himself in the weight room. You got to think that he's done a ton of cardio.
Yeah, certainly. I'll tell you what, the home plate umpire didn't award him timeout there. Did a great job at just fouling that one straight back.
Again, another check of first, and the head first slide is Yards. Again, out of the stretch, swing and a miss. On a slow bender downstairs, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, just a great pitch. You know, off speed, away from a left-handed batter. That's so difficult. You know, they often say, you know, lefties hit better against righties and righties hit better against lefties because of the breaking ball. But when you have a changeup that works away from the batter, it is the most deadly pitch that you can have in an arsenal.
Kyle Anstadt is a 2-out batter, 6 foot tall, a junior. Bats him as he throws him. Bit of an open stance, as you can see, and he puts it in play out to right center. Holderbach calling for it. Inning over. So a hitter, runner left. We go to the bottom of the second. No score here in Fairfield between McNick and Badin on Chatterbox Live. To the bottom of the second we go. No score here in Fairfield. Along with Reid Mouse, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Live. Justin Thomas is our producer here in week 3 of this baseball season. The Rams are perfect on the year, unbeaten in 4 tries. They have really laid it out to opposition. In fact, we had mentioned at the top of the broadcast, plus 40 in run differential through 4 games. You don't need to be a math wizard to know that that's 10 runs a game that you're outscoring your opposition. But take a look at this. They beat Talawanda in the year to start the year 7-1. Then they beat Alter, as we had mentioned, 17-1 to end March. And then they followed up. CHCA has given up the biggest battle so far to open up April, 12-6. And then McNick, as we had mentioned, they've beat them on Monday, 13-1. That's a lot of double-figure scoring in games.
Yeah, they're averaging, double digits to this point of the season. The offense been firing on all cylinders, and still Coach Treadway making minor tweaks to the lineup, still giving guys a chance to get in there and get some ABs.
First pitch of the bottom half of the second. Fastball rides high, 1-0.
And speaking of guys getting in the lineup, Caleb Chorley, he's a guy that last year got a couple opportunities to hit off the bench, pinch hitting, didn't earn his spot into the lineup, but this year has done fantastic.
167 hitters so far, and this one a little lower, and it got the strike zone, 1-1. Caleb starting at first. Swing and a miss, and one thing that we have noticed here from young Mr. Fulmer is he went from the top on down, so all of a sudden you think, what are you looking for now if you're Chorley? Are you looking for something up high to kind of reverse?
You're keeping your head out of this. It's just keep alive, stay alive.
Fastball rides inside, 2-2.
The logical thing to do after you get a swing and a miss on a breaking ball low and away, come up and in, go back to that breaking ball low and away. I'm staying right here on the fastball and going against the grain.
2-2 offering, and it's a high fly into left center field. It'll hold up for the center fielder, Jackson Wang, 1 out.
And Chorley saw it coming and sent it to the deepest part of the ballpark, ran out of real estate out there. But, great job of Fulmer getting the first out of the inning once again.
So I'm looking at the flag just out to the right behind the Badin bench, and unlike what we saw back in the pregame when we were watching batting practice and the balls were flying out towards center, we seem to have a little bit more of a cross breeze right now on the first pitch, down and away to Cooper Fear, 1-0.
Cooper was a guy that started on the team last year, was a fantastic addition and a welcomed piece of the lineup back in.
2-0. Cooper at 6 foot tall, 170 pounds, a senior. He's headed to Marietta College. That's where he's committed to, as he awaits on the 2-ball offering, and this one line to the first baseman, 2 out.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Marietta. I remember in the fall, my Twitter is made for stupid stuff. I say stupid stuff on it all the time. And I tweeted out something along the lines of, how do I get Cooper Fear to go to Bluffton? Well, trying to make a connection there. I came up futile. He was going to a much better school than the old Bluffton Beavs.
Diego DiCello is the 2-out batter. Lefty batter, and he puts this one in play. Foul, strike 1. Diego, the younger brother of Sergio, who is starting shortstop, pitched a little bit a year ago as well. little bit of a different demeanor between the two brothers. Sergio a little bit more loquacious. Diego's a little bit more polite. I got a chance to talk to him during the playoffs a year ago, and there was a lot of yes sirs.
Yeah. You know, the DiCello family, it's a great family. They, you know, Dante started started as a freshman here at Badin all the way back in 2015. Started for all 4 years. Sergio did, you know, a 3-year starter as well for the Badin Rams, and now Diego's taking his chance to put something on the mantle.
Lefty batter, 1-1 the count to him, and this one fouled at the plate. So Diego's a lefty batter. Serge had been a switch hitter. So
and Dante was a right-hander, so they basically got two switch-hitting sons there.
Well, I'm just wondering the adaptation it takes to have 3 frontline high school players to hit differently, and I'm guessing different personalities as well. Fouled away, we'll do it again. Should Diego reach, it'll be Brady Imhoff, who was also such a big part of last year's club. Hard not to look back a year ago. In fact, we got a chance to talk to Brian Treadway in the last couple of days, and you know, at some point, obviously, you have to just turn the page on what was such a great team a year ago. You know, it went to the state Final Four, very memorable team, and you know, this team is also very talented. It's going to take a little while for us to know how good they can be compared to last year. 1-2, and he lines one down the line, drifting foul. And while they are number 1 in the state, it's early. I mean, we're just in the first week of April right now. I mean, it is so early right now. And while the bats haven't warmed up, the pitching has really looked good here so far in the early games.
Yeah, both arms are doing a great job today. But yeah, both the arms and the bats have been working for Badin. You mentioned the 10-run differential through 4 games. They're starting out great. Haven't faced a whole lot of adversity, although they did play CHCA, who won a state title a season ago. Beat them by 12 runs last Friday.
The 1-2 once more, and he spoils one again. Diego's got a great eye at the plate right now.
Yeah, he's doing a good job at spoiling. Fulmer's, you know, at his wits' end. Sailor calling the pitches back there. You know, at some point after they foul off so many pitches, you just say, "All right, let's just put it in the zone and see if he can get himself out."
Again, waiting for the 1-2. Fulmer deals. Just downstairs, not by much. And when we go deuces wild.
Yeah, now I got to come right back at him. Went with the fastball here. You know, after going fastball in the dirt, you really can go with anything out on the mound. 2-2. You don't want to fall behind the 7-hole, already 2 away. Kind of just want to go right at him. Expect a fastball, maybe something on the outside half.
Here's the 2-2. Ground ball, glove by the shortstop. Good pickup and throw, and safe. It took the first baseman, Tyler Snyder, off the bag, and I think a good throw by Cam Yards does get him, so that's got to be E6.
Yeah, already a left-handed hitter, so he's getting a few steps out of the box and a very quick. He moves Yards to his back foot. He's got to throw a little off balance, slow to the ball, and just the slight advantage of throwing it up the line, which meets the base runner and the first baseman halfway, lets Diego DiCello slip by and get him on first.
Brady Imhoff is the 2-out batter. He's got a man on and DiCello at first. Runner stays put, and he swings through strike 1.
Yeah, big hack there on the first. First pitch he saw. We'll see if he's a little more controlled. See if Diego DiCello gets moving here with 1 strike and 2 outs.
Brady, a .222 hitter. Fastball missing off the plate. Not by a whole heck of a lot, 1-1.
And went right back out there with the fastball. 1-1. I don't know if he came fully set there on that last pitch.
Out of the stretch is Fulmer, and he'll toss over to first.
So just taking you through the mental state of what a pitcher's going through right now. He's trying to change his approach to the plate. First, a quick pitch in. Now he's throwing it over to first base. Watch a long pause here.
Popped up. Shallow left center field. The center fielder, Wayne, comes in for it. And that's a side. No runs, no hits, a runner left. We've played 2 complete. Reid Mouse will take you through the next 3 here on Chatterbox Live. To the 3rd inning we go. No score between McNick and Badin. To take you through the next 3 innings, Badin's own Reid Mouse.
Geoff, thank you. And I don't know how many Badin people will still claim me as I got my McNick hat in here. I think I actually was, funny story, we have the generator powering the K right center field. I was getting gas for it, saw a couple Badin students, and they both gave me a thumbs down. I walked through the PFAC about a week ago, and I was immediately booed. So I don't know how much Badin cred I still have. But regardless, we're here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Top half of the order, or apologize, Brady O'Brien then the top of the order for the McNick Rockets. On the mound. He kicks and deals as this ball is going to be chopped. It will be fouled. 0-1's the count. O'Brien, a lot of speed. Saw him a few times last year, was able to see the McNick Rockets in action 3 or 4 times. Brady O'Brien had a good game, and each time I saw him, a spark at the bottom half of the order.
He's exactly what you want from a height, weight dimension as a baseball player. 6 foot tall, 170 pounds.
So here's O'Brien. Look how he keeps his hands right around his armpit as he sends this one into center field. Lucas Moore will be underneath it as he takes a quick stick in that last gust of wind, but he has it regardless. 1 gone here in the top half of the 3rd. And you saw O'Brien almost those Japanese-style swings, kind of bailing out of the box when he was taking a good cut at it, and just missed it barely. So we're at the top half of the order. Jackson Wang, he's 0 for 1 on the day. Flew out to Mark Holderbach out there in right field as these guys, as the second time around, are really starting to get a little more aggressive in the batter's box as he's first pitch swinging against Hoevel.
Well, McNick is trying to establish something here in these middle innings. Right now, just through 4 games, they're -2 in differential in the 3rd inning.
Each team has had 1 base runner in each half of the inning, yet to get somebody past second base and, more importantly, across home plate. So 0-1's the count to the leadoff hitter, Wang. As Hoevel steps off. Gets the sign. Nugent setting up, and this one tails off, and it looked like it had a changeup, and I actually saw him grip that against his right leg when he was stepping back onto the rubber. Let's see if he does it again, and maybe that's just how he grips the ball in his glove, because it looked like he was doing it again, and it was a split or a changeup there, as it's a 2-1 count as he's missed 2 times in a row with that pitch.
Just like a catcher to look for a tell.
Well, there it is once again. We'll see if he does it a 3rd time. I'm starting to wonder if he just, his fastball almost with his full hand, it has a weird spin as it comes in towards the plate. 2-2's the count. Didn't see it here. We'll see what kind of pitch we have. And no, says the home plate umpire. Just missed on the outside half. We'll run it to full. So full count here to Wang, the leadoff hitter, 1 gone. Kicks and deals, no time wasted. This one's sent over to third base. Cooper Fear gets it on the second hop, takes a step towards first, and delivers a strike to Chorley. 2 away here in the top half of the 3rd.
2 outs, batter number 7, Ben Bobo.
So now we're going to see the man with the second best name on the team, Ben Bobo, who reached on a base hit in the 1st inning, got to second base on a steal on the first pitch after the base knock. He's 1 for 1. 2 away here in the top half of the 3rd. Hoevel working quickly on the mound, him and Nugent in sync. This ball is going to be popped up in the infield. The shortstop calling it, and he'll be camped underneath it, and that will do it for the top half of the 3rd. Still nothings as we're heading to the bottom half. Stay tuned. You're watching Chatterbox Live. Bottom half of the 3rd here at Alumni Field. I'm Reid Mouse, joined along here with Geoff Kim. Drew Fulmer out for his 3rd inning of work. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be 9-1-2 up for the Badin Rams. Mark Holderbach, Lucas Moore, Jimmy Nugent. So Mark Holderbach's going to be the leadoff hitter. He's a guy that's floated in and out of the starting lineup. The third of the Holderbach boys, the oldest, Alex Holderbach, who I played with, currently in the Astros organization, was one of the 3 finalists for the Johnny Award at EKU. His other older brother, Drew Holderbach, is at Marietta, where he's a preseason All-American for the Pioneers. So a great baseball bloodline for Mark Holderbach.
Leading off the third for the Rams.
See if he can get the Badin Rams started off here in the bottom half of the third.
Late entry into the lineup, and talking with Coach Treadway prior to this ball game, we thought we were going to see Bryson Fox, and then he pulled Fox in favor of Holderbach for this ball game.
So Holderbach, a right-handed batter, facing against Fulmer, who's worked quickly through the first 2, as this one bounces about 54 feet. 1-0's the count to the 9-hole. Fulmer on the 1-0, finds the strike zone, catches a lot of the plate. Holderbach didn't pull the trigger. 1-1's the count. Fulmer gets the sign. Breaking ball. They say that one just missed downstairs. Fulmer, the McNick faithful, can't believe that one. He's had that pitch working all afternoon. Doesn't get the call there. 2-1's the count.
1 for 3 on the season is Holderbach, by the way.
This one's going to be fouled off down the first base line and out of play, hitting the parents' party deck down there on the right field line.
And I mentioned that, partner, just because if you're playing the outfield, especially on this team, it's hard to get at bats.
Yeah, it's still early on in the season, still trying to figure out the chemistry, the equation that works best for this Badin team, as the 2-2 is going to bounce short. Fulmer has bounced a couple here to the 9-hole. And Fulmer, who has looked very good through the first 2 innings. You see his 2 worst pitches coming to the 9-hole. You've really got to lock in on that bottom half of the order before the Badin Rams turn it over. So full count pitch here to Holderbach. And this one's going to be fouled, and Taylor will have it for the strikeout and the tip caught. 1 away here in the bottom half of the third.
Third strikeout of the day. And by the way, 2 of his strikeouts have come on full count pitches. The only other 3-2 count went to Nugent, and he got Jimmy swinging back in the first.
Yeah, he's shown that breaking ball early a lot in the counts, and has almost gone exclusively to the fastball in the 2-2 and the 3-2 counts. So now we'll see Lucas Moore, who was frozen by a backdoor slider his first time up. We'll see if he's a little more aggressive this time around, and he is swinging at the first pitch, a breaking ball downstairs. He comes up empty. 0-1's the count. Oh, 1 here to Moore. Fulmer kicks, deals. You see the flexibility by Taylor, and you see it with Nugent too, behind the plate, setting up, really giving a good spot and a good setup for the pitchers today. This one's hit into medium left field. Underneath it's O'Brien, and that's going to be caught for the second out. So we are seeing the wind tail out a little bit that way. We saw that early to dead center field, and they're right there in left field. It is being broken down when sitting into right field. You mentioned that cross breeze that we're seeing. So we'll see Jimmy Nugent, who went down swinging his first time up. 2 away here for the catcher. So the first pitch misses downstairs. Catcher wearing 8. I wore 8 in college, and my college coach came up to me. He's like, you know what catcher wore number 8? And I immediately went, yeah, Yogi Berra. And he's like, oh, yeah, that would have been a good answer. I was thinking Crash Davis from the movie Bull Durham. But all works the same, as this one misses, making it 2-0.
You know, that's what I do love about baseball in particular. Your answer is the product of your environment.
Surely. 2-0 here to the catchers. This one is missiled but foul towards the road, entering here at Alumni Field. 2-1.
Well, that was a loud strike. The
Yeah.
way it jumped off the bat, you thought if it had any kind of direction, that's 1-0.
Yeah, all over that fastball, just way out in front of it. Now, if you're Fulmer, you can't be scared to throw that again. Just keep it on the outside half of the plate. 2-1 here to Penn State commit, and he does just that, but far too outside. Makes it a 3-1 count.
Partner, is that by design? Whenever you see a loud strike like what you just saw a couple pitches ago, you go to the exact opposite?
Not always. You know, you don't want to go to a breaking pitch there, as this one's going to miss on the outside half. So they go to back-to-back pitches outside, and the reason for that is he pulled one and got all of it way out in front of the pitch. So typically, if it's in, you're going to go some off-speed. If you're ahead in the count, give some off-speed and say, hey, you've got to change up your timing if you're going to want to hit here. But because you're behind in the count, you just say, all right, we're not going to let you get your bat out in front, the barrel out in front. We'll stay on the outside half of the plate and do something that you haven't shown so far in this at-bat. Fulmer just missed back-to-back pitches there, so there will be a runner on first base. Yeah, the base on balls as Landon Vitterick steps in the batter's box. And this one's in there for a called strike. Taylor didn't hold it there. And you can see that not only is a little jumpy on the mound, but Taylor's, a little fidgety back behind the plate, not catching as he normally would with nobody on, as he's in ready position, as this one's going to be hit into shallow right field, as Bobo's going to be underneath it. And that's the third out of the bottom half of the third. We're heading to the top half of the fourth, still zeros on the board. I'm Reid Mouse, joined along here with Geoff Kim. You're watching Chatterbox Live. We're at the middle of the seesaw on this 7-inning tilt, top half of the fourth inning, as Hoevel's going out there for another inning of work. Zeros on the board, and really not many crooked numbers across it. Only 2 hits by the visiting Rockets, 1 hit by the Badin Rams, and we're going to see the middle half of the order due up for the Rockets. Tyler Snyder, Houston Birkin, and Pierce Taylor. Houston Durkin.
We had mentioned Badin being a good hitting team, obviously, especially last year. This year, not too bad so far. 315, and we're talking about first world problems if you've got a team that's hitting 315. On the other side, McNick is hitting 283 coming into this ball game, though both batting averages are taking a beating right now because the 2 starting pitchers are dealing.
Yeah, you look at Badin's scores, and the hits are sometimes there. We've seen them win a 9-1 game against Talawanda. I believe they only had 3 hits in that one. So they've been doing it once they get on base, been doing a good job at working counts and then stealing bases and creating havoc in the field. Haven't seen that so far. Fulmer's done a good job, but so has the home pitcher Hoevel here, as Tyler Snyder fouls one back to even it up at 1s. Snyder grounded out to Landon Vitterick his first time up. He was a great hitter a season ago, multi-sport athlete. Got a lot of size. This one is hit hard into left center field, just past the outreach glove of Landon Vitterick, and there comes the third hit of the ball game for the Rockets.
Got a good pitch to hit, and the reaction time of Vitterick. I mean, he plays both football and baseball with very quick feet. That one was by him even before he could react.
Yeah, just a sinking line drive that hit half of the infield. And there's going to be the first leadoff batter to get on this entire game for either team. So now we're going to see Houston Durkin, the cleanup hitter. He grounded out to shortstop as well, his first time up. He's been manning third base in the field. Tyler Snyder, don't let his size fool you. He's got some speed as this one is hit weakly into center field. It's going to fall down. Back hits to lead off the top half of the fourth for the Rockets, and we'll see what McNick decides to do with runners on first and second in a low-scoring game midway through this one. Pierce Taylor, he struck out swinging his first time up. And, yeah, we're going to see Coach Treadway go out and talk to Hoevel. Pierce Taylor, funny story is, I mentioned wearing my McNick Rockets hat into the press box today. I actually got it from Drew Schmidt, the athletic director, when I went to their Hall of Fame night a few weeks back. And on that night, Pierce Taylor was shown to the audience, and they congratulated him for his state championship in wrestling, and they showed, his state plaque that went on the wall in the arena there at McNick High School. A great evening, and Pierce Taylor, a fantastic athlete.
Oh, absolutely. I think this speaks to guys that we've already seen. For instance, I think about Sergio DiCello a year ago, who, when Nugent went down with a bit of an injury, he played catcher. That's a swing catcher who can pitch as well. So you look at Pierce Taylor, who has played the infield this season. The catcher who started on Monday, Matt Mitchell, goes down with a concussion, and they put Taylor right back behind the plate. He's been a good luck charm today.
Absolutely. So here's the first pitch as they're going to do an inside turn just to see if Taylor shows the bunt. You see Chorley in here in front of the runner on first base. Cooper Fear out at third. He's playing just a step inside of even. So they're playing for the bunt. So we'll see what Taylor does here on the first pitch. And he does show a late bunt. It's a ball in the dirt. They're not going to need the bunt as both runners advance on the wild pitch. So this is, sometimes the hilarity of baseball. And you go out there and talk about what you're going to do on a bunt situation. You plan your defense, you show it, and then it's all for naught because the first pitch just happens to skip 54 feet. But regardless, runners on second and third, 1-0 here to the 5-hole. This is Pierce Taylor as Hoevel comes set, kicks, deals, swing on and miss. Brings it to 1-1.
Good location, by the way, on that pitch. Belt high on the inner half. It looked like it tied up Taylor, to be honest.
And Taylor has had a few swings where he's come up empty. That one was, over the heart of the plate. And when you're a batter in the batter's box, and it feels like you have a hole in the bat when you swing on and just come up empty on a fastball. Let's see how Hoevel goes about going at Taylor. And Taylor's job, more than anything, is just put one to get Snyder across the board. 1-1. Shows a bunt, stabs at it. Comes up empty, high fastball, and brings it to 1-2. So the first pitch is in the dirt, moves the runners over. The 1-0 over the plate. Taylor comes up empty and then tries to show bunt again. He was going to push it past Hoevel, but a bad pitch, and he comes up empty. 1-2 the count here. 2 runners on, nobody away here in the top half of the fourth.
And they now move Chorley back to normal depth.
Breaking ball right over the middle of the plate, freezes Taylor, and Hoevel gets a much-needed first out here. So now we'll see Camden Yards, who's 1 for 1 on the evening.
You had mentioned that you got some information that we got that it is indeed Camden.
Yeah. Mr. Schmidt, the athletic director over there at McNicholas High School. A few times we brought him up over this broadcast. So we'll see what Yards does, as this one's going to be in the dirt. Misses, 1-0's the count. And we're seeing Hoevel showing a few chinks in the armor there as he is missing wildly here in this fourth inning. And it's really been the first time that he's had to work out of the stretch for an extended length of time.
Sure, you get 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. That's a far cry from what we've seen through the first 3.
As this one's going to be fouled back. Landon Fiderick and Diego DiCello, the middle infielders, are playing just a step outside of the grass, so they'll be coming home on a chopper to them. 1-1's the count here to Yards.
Got to think about if they're looking for the push bunt to the first base side.
Kicks, deals, just misses on the outside half. 1 now. Great pitch there from Hoevel. Got yards not to pull the trigger, and neither did the home plate umpire, as that one didn't miss by a whole lot. 2-1, one away. This ball is going to be fouled. It will go out of play. Chorley will give chase shortly before retreating back to where he started. 2-2's the count.
I want to talk about Ed Melling for a second, who's behind home plate calling balls and strikes. From what we've seen, he looks like he's willing to give the pitcher the inside corner, but not the outside. Or at least more willing, let's put it that way.
Which is a little interesting because typically home plate umpires see that outside half a little better. 2-2, breaking ball is going to be chopped over to Landon Vitterick. The base runner at second was caught out in no man's land as he went immediately after his hit to Vitterick. They get the out over at first. Tyler Snyder is going to have to charge home, and it's a double play that gets the Badin Rams out of the inning.
Wow.
Durkin went to third on the chopper. Landon Vitterick was playing in front of him. He went across the infield for the first out, and then they get Tyler Snyder in a rundown. So though they had runners on second and third and nobody away, McNick still doesn't get one across. We're 0-0 heading into the bottom half of the fourth inning here on Chatterbox Live. Bottom half of the fourth inning, still zeros here at Alumni Field in Fairfield, Ohio. I'm Reid Mouse joined along here with Geoff, Kim. We saw McNick just run themselves out of an inning. Second and third, nobody away, a strikeout, then a double play on a base running boner. And now we're going to see Badin come on up, middle of the order. Rodney Rachel, Caleb Chorley, and Cooper Fear due up. And Rodney Rachel's a guy that was hurt last season, didn't get to see a whole lot of him, but is already impressed in the early season.
Oh, he's been mashing. And in fact, Coach Treadway, some of this I feel like is hyperbole, but he feels like absent wind conditions in the early season, he should have 5 bombs already.
And you do feel a lot of wind in the early April and late March in Southwest Ohio. As the first pitch misses 1-0. Fulmer was so close to getting some run support, and he's been amazing today. Only giving up 1 hit through the first 3 innings, but he's fallen behind 2-0 to the starting left fielder, Rodney Rachel.
While I do think it's a bit of hyperbole by Treadway, Rachel's already got 2 doubles and a triple this year.
As this one is swung on and missed. Fastball on the outside half of the plate. Rachel reached out but came up empty.
Well, I think that's the case in point, Reid. And you saw the big swing on 2-0, right? He has that power.
This one misses outside, 3-1. Exclusive fastballs here to Rodney Rachel, but more or less because he fell behind early on. 3-1 here. Fulmer getting the sign from Taylor will start his motion. Taylor set up over the heart of the plate and swung on and missed. They're going to say it was fouled.
Might have popped out of Taylor's glove, to be sure. I didn't think he had contact with it, but it is full.
So here's the full count to left fielder. Worked a lot of full counts, Fulmer has. It's almost gone exclusively with the hard stuff out of him. And this one's a bender, showing a little discretion as the game ages.
Good job by Rachel to defend the plate, wait on the pitch. I don't know if he's seen the situation previously. I mean, we've seen a couple of 3-2 counts in which Fulmer's gotten the strikeout.
Here goes the full count again. This one is swung on and missed by Rachel. Another K for the starting pitcher, Drew Fulmer. I think that number 4 for the starting arm for the McNick Rockets. So now we're going to see Caleb Chorley. He flew out to center field to start the second inning. See if he can get something going here with 1 gone in the bottom half of the fourth. As this one misses downstairs, 1-0. And he's done a good job, Fulmer has, of getting ahead in the count, which has been a big piece of his success. He's been able to work that breaking pitch, which has been deadly today, But here in the 4th inning, he's fallen behind before working it back even, 1-1.
Given the number of runs that they put up in the first 4 games, are you a little surprised that Badin's still scoreless into the 4th?
Certainly.
I have a point on that.
This ball is laced into left field as it's gonna go past O'Brien's glove. It will be extra bases for Chorley and a runner on second base with 1 away here in the 4th. Chorley did a good job at just seeing the pitch on the inside half and sending it almost all the way out to the fence line down the left field line.
Great job to turn on it, in fact, to get that double. First extra base hit of the ball game. So the point that I was making, or I'd like to make on Badin, is that through 4 innings, the first 4 innings of games that they played coming on in, their run differential in those games, plus 25. They had scored 28 runs, 28-3 in those first 4 innings of the first 4 games.
So 0 on the board in the 4th inning is not the norm, but now we're going to see Cooper Fear try to change that as Fulmer delivers a breaking pitch that just misses outside. Cooper Fear was getting ready to show bunt, but pulled it back. He lined out to the first baseman his first time. 1-0 the count here to the third baseman heading for Marietta next season. As this one's going to get him, showing bunt once again. They're going to ask the field umpire if he was still lined up for it. Home plate umpire is going to say, yes, he did. So Cooper Fear is going to have to go back into the batter's box. He was hit. Get a strike charge to the at-bat. Now, that's such a tough call for the field umpire because Cooper Fear turns his shoulders directly to the pitcher, and because he didn't turn his back, it's just such a, coin flip of a call out in the field to see whether or not the bat was crossing the plane. When your shoulders are crossing the plane, it's hard to bring the bat back on the other side. So 1-1, he's showing bunt again here with 1 away. They're gonna try and make McNick bunt, and what a beauty it is as it stops down the third base line. Cooper Fear with a base knock and one of the prettiest bunts you'll ever see.
Right on the line. He had been in a bit of a funk, 1 for 11 coming into the ball game, and you know what? The nice thing about things like this is it's going to look like a rocket. No pun intended here to McNick, but it's going to look like a rocket in the box score.
Yeah, Coop was showing bunt all the way. Talked to Brian Treadway, Coach Treadway, before the at bat. That clearly was in their mind. They wanted to see McNick field a ball here. So it'll be runners on first and third and 1 away. Cooper Fear. What's interesting is if there was cutout, dirt going down the third base line, that probably doesn't stay fair because just enough traction here. And now we're going to see Diego DiCello bunt. There's going to be a play at the plate and slides in safe. Fulmer decides to pitch the ball to Pierce Taylor at home plate. He might have had a better play just diving towards the home plate bag as he was only just 2 to 3 feet away from home plate. Regardless, Badin's going to get on the board first after the 1-out double and back-to-back bunts from the Rams.
Oh, and that's a tough one if you are visiting McNick, as we do see a conference call on the hill.
So now we're going to see the 8-9 up for Badin once this talk is over at the mound. 1 away in the bottom half of the 4th. 1-0 our score. Runners on first and second. Fear on second. Diego DiCello on first. Emhoff at the plate. He flew out his first time up.
Well, partner, it's something to mention on this. When we had the no-hit by pitch call from the field on Cooper Fear, and he got back up and then laid down a perfect bunt right down the line, that run doesn't happen if he officially got hit by that pitch.
So here's Emhoff showing a bunt once more. Guess they're going to make McNick get an out on these bunts. Another one plays at first. Taylor right there, apologize. Snyder's right there to field it from Fulmer. Second out of the inning, and McNick, after their third try, finally gets an out on a bunt.
And that was a really tough throw, and a good job by Tyler Snyder at first. He dug it out. It was a curveball that had a little 12-6 to it going to first base, but was able to dig it out across the baseline.
So now we're going to see Mark Holderbach. He's going to show bunt once again. If he lays one down, he'll be the fourth consecutive hitter to lay one down in the bottom half of the Badin Rams lineup. He struck out swinging just last inning to lead off the third. 1-0's the count here to Holderbach, the right fielder. Fulmer, as this one's going to be hit into shallow left center field. It will drop. One run will score. They're not going to make the play at home, so it's 3-0 off the 2 RBI single from the 9-hole, Mark Holderbach.
Fear and DiCello scored. And, you know, the funny thing with Holderbach there on that base hit is, had that been a wood bat, that would have sawed it in half. That's where it was on the hit. But, hey, it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it.
It's the second time tonight by both teams that we've seen a baseball get pretty much fisted over the shortstop. This time for 2 runs, and Badin's out 3-0. Holderbach's on first. 2 away here for Lucas Moore. He's 0 for 2 on the ledger. Breaking ball in there for a called strike, and they're almost exclusively giving the off-speed to the leadoff man Moore.
That was a pretty pitch, by the way. Had a nice 2-plane break coming onto the inside half.
0-1's the count here to the center fielder. Holderbach's moving. High fastball, good pitch to throw on, and Taylor is going to not have the throw be there in time. They're going to say they missed the tag out there at second base. You're going to see Camden Yards completely disagree with the call. It was an 0-1 count, and McNick sniffed that one out. That was all but a pitch out. On the high fastball, Taylor delivered a strike just slightly up the baseline, and there's going to be a runner on second base. 1-1's the count here to Lucas Moore.
Third stolen base of the year for Holderbach.
And now Moore is going to show the bunt. Holderbach takes a big secondary, but will scamper on back to the base. 1-2 the count.
I don't want to say Holderbach was lumbering towards second, but the way he was attacking second base, that almost felt like a hit and run than a stolen base attempt.
You know, with an 0-1 count, they're thinking, you know, a lot of breaking pitches to Lucas Moore today. Maybe another one's coming here. If Holderbach gets thrown out, you still have the leadoff man to lead off the next inning. It all worked out as there's a runner on second base. 1-2's the count here to Lucas Moore. And Holderbach will be stealing third as Moore fouls one off his front ankle. And he doesn't appear to be in any sort of pain. We'll do it again here on a 1-2 count. 1-2, 2 away in the bottom half of the fourth. Badin already got 3 runners to cross home. Looking for a fourth. Here comes the 1-2. Breaking ball that gets Moore swinging once again, the second time this evening, but the damage was done. Badin tacks on 3 runs thanks to bunts and a double by Caleb Chorley in the bottom half of the order doing their job, getting the first runs on the board. We're heading to the top half of the fifth. Stay tuned. You're watching Chatterbox Live. 3-0 as we head to the top half of the fifth inning here on Chatterbox Live. We're out at Alumni Field, this GCL tilt between the Badin Rams and the McNick Rockets. As McNick's going to have 7, 8, 9 due up. Hoevel out there for his 5th inning of work. Hanging a goose egg out there for the Rams.
I want to get back to Lucas Moore, who punched out to end the last frame. He came in hitting .545, second in the league in hitting. Are you surprised to see the offer?
they've done a good job of scouting him, showing that breaking pitch often and early, and it's appeared to have, some complications with Lucas Moore. Typically a left-handed swinger against a right-handed breaking ball is a match made in heaven, but Moore has not shown to like it thus far, as this one's going to be chopped off by Bobby Diana, who's up for the second time this evening. Struck out swinging his first time up. 1-1's the count. He was up in the second inning with the runner on first base, so the first time that he's seen Hoevel out of the windup. Here comes the 1-1, as it's a pitch that misses on the outside half. We saw Nugent favoring that outside in his setup. One here from Hoevel. And this one's going to be sawed off in the air. The pitcher will field his position, and one away here in the top half of the fifth.
Bears mentioning that that's something when you see it in the big leagues. Even when it's a pop-up that the pitcher can handle, he's often running away from it and somebody else in the infield. It's good to see the athleticism by pitchers here at the high school level.
I want to give Hoevel too much credit there. I mean, he was sitting in the circle there, fielded position. They made a great pitch to get Bobby Diana to just pop up softly right there. And now we're going to see, stepping into the batter's box, Kyle Anstadt. He flew out to right field to conclude the second inning as he takes the first pitch for a ball. And this one's tailing, and you're seeing just by the delivery of Hoevel, more tail as the game progresses, almost like his arms dropping down more and more, just getting more spin that runs into the right-handed batter. 2-0's the count. See Anstadt choking up on the bat. 2-0. He takes it for a called strike. Taking all the way there.
Nice comeback pitch, right? You had one that was high and tight inside that looked like it had no control, and then what happens? He splits the plate in two on this one.
Certainly. This one's going to be hit on a one-hopper to Landon Viderick. He gets it off the one-hop. Low throw, but Chorley does a good job scooping it over there at first base. Second time he's bailed Viderick out on a low throw.
Groovy, baby, yeah!
So now we're going to see Brady O'Brien. 0 for 1 on the day. Popped up in the infield. See what he can get going here with 2 away in the fifth inning, as it is a check swing, but the home plate umpire calls it for a strike.
Only Brady's second plate appearance here into the fifth inning, and that should tell you how good the pitchers have been, right? Sure. When you only have 2 plate appearances and it's the fifth.
As this one's going to miss inside. 1-1's the count.
So in the last 2 batters, we've seen Hoevel miss inside to each of the last 2 batters, whether they're on the left-hand or right-hand side of the plate.
As O'Brien's going to try and lay one down. This will be fouled toward the McNick Rockets third base dugout, and we'll do it here at 1-2. But you're absolutely right. He's been a lot more erratic in this fifth work, but he's been able to hone it in as the at-bat progresses. 1-2's the count here to O'Brien. So Hoevel's going to get charged for a balk, as we're seeing the field umpire call for a ball. Hoevel went to his mouth and then went directly to the ball.
Can't do that.
No, so they want you to, with your mouth, get a little moisture in your hands. You're going to have to wipe it off, right? So 2-2's the count here to Brady O'Brien after the balk. Fouled straight back off Jimmy Nugent's face mask. We'll do it again here at 2-2.
And I got to look at Hoevel just now, just to be sure. Right after the pitch, he went to the mouth and then wiped it off very directly on his pants, just to be sure. So, that's the thing about loading up on a ball. It's so often that you see it on multiple levels that it's unintentional, even at the highest level, at the major league level. You have guys who are in the moment, they have condensation, they're just trying to get their fingers with something, and they're just caught up in the moment and they forget.
Absolutely. So we'll do it here again at 2-2. 2 away here to the 9-hole, Brady O'Brien. Kicks, deals. This one's going to be chopped, foul, fielded behind home plate. Yeah, the home plate umpire was a little hesitant to call that a foul ball. It looked like he was just along for the ride there as Nugent fielded it clearly behind home plate. We'll do it again. And you saw Nugent take a foul ball off the face mask just a pitch ago, which could put me on a separate rant that I'll save maybe for the next half inning. 2-2 is the count here to O'Brien. And it is a check swing. They're going to say he did not swing. Oh, he did say he swung. Now the home plate umpire went safe to show that the ball hit the ground, that he went on a check swing. So they're going to tag him out for the strikeout and the third out in the top half of the fifth. We're headed to the bottom half. Badin looking to add on more runs here on Chatterbox Live. Bottom half of the fifth inning, 3-0 our score. Badin due up. It's going to be 2-3 for Jimmy Nugent. Landon Vitterick, Rodney Rachel up for the Badin Rams as they're looking to add on more runs. They got 3 just last inning in the fourth from the bottom half of the order. Now it's time for the top half to see if they can add on. See Fulmer out there for another inning of work. He's been very good this evening. His lone mistake has been a double and then a series of bunt base hits from McNick, or from Badin rather.
You're right. Bunt plays, a bunt base hit for Cooper Fear. Diego DiCello had one.
So the breaking ball still working for Fulmer as it's in there for a called strike. 0-1's the count here to the catcher.
Imhoff had a sacrifice, and then Holderbach had the dunk single that plated 2.
0-1 here to Nugent, misses upstairs. 1-1's the count. He has won today, struck out his first at-bat, reached on a walk his last time. Was stranded over there at first base. That was back in the third inning. This ball is going to miss inside, and as time progresses, you see Fulmer's, rocking formation. You got to wonder how effective it is as you get tired, you going on. It's not the most polished rotation as he rocks back and forth before delivering an over-top fastball. Here comes the 2-1. It's a breaking ball in there for a called strike. 2-2's the count.
Well, he did have a tough outing against, I believe it was LaSalle, his last outing. But opening day, he went 7 1/3. He went the distance and then some.
So 2-2's the count. Fulmer gets the sign from Taylor. Intrigued to see what they go with here on 2-2. It misses downstairs in the dirt. We'll do it at full.
4th full count offering that he'll have in this ball game. He struck out the last 3 of them on full counts.
Jimmy Nugent, I believe the lone walk for Fulmer in this one. As this one's going to miss, and it's going to get past the catcher, but Jimmy Nugent not racing down towards first base. So we'll do it with a runner on first, and Landon Vitterick at the plate. He's 1 for 2. Base knock to right field, and he flew out to right field.
By Nugent, the batter, shortstop Landon Vitterick.
Now Jimmy Nugent still has speed over there at first base. Most of these Badin Rams are a stolen base threat.
I know you saw Badin in football a lot last year. I mean, in fact, you took him all the way to the state championship game.
Sure.
Vitterick had an outstanding year, 2,173 total yards, passing and rushing, and 28 total touchdowns. And an offensive player of the year, if I recall, in the GCL-CoEd.
Yeah, one of the best players in the GCL, one of the better players in the entire state. Just a fantastic athlete. Of course, got hurt in the regional championship against Bellbrook, broke his hand and had to sit out for the second half of that game and the final 2 games of the season. The state semis and state championship before losing to Chardon. As this one misses upstairs, it's 1-0 here to Vitterick.
Played left field last year. In fact, played it a lot more once Rodney Rachel went down with his shin splints.
Yeah, we mentioned played shortstop, first base, left field, pitched a little bit too. But now playing shortstop with the vacancy at shortstop provided from Ryan Kirkendall and Sergio DiCello.
Help me out. He's committed to UC, correct?
University of Cincinnati, yes. 2-0's the count here to Vitterick. As he steps off the back.
You know, there's so much to think about when you're a pitcher, when you have a runner. You're working out of the stretch, which may not be natural to a pitcher. Though in this day and age, and given how much base runners get on, you would think it'd be a little bit more so. And you're just worried about balking.
2-0's the count as it's in there for a called strike on the outside half. But you're absolutely right, and that's part of one of the responsibilities as being a catcher is, you know, limiting the mental capacity for a pitcher out there. You want them to think as little as possible. All you want to do is give you a slight chance on a base runner. You want them to focus on delivering the next pitch, not who's on the base paths. Here's the 2-1 count as he sidesteps. It's in there for a called strike.
Where have you gone big, high leg kick of Bob Gibson? That's what I keep thinking about.
Certainly. And that's part of the repertoire of a pitcher. You know, they can go slide step, they can go big kick, they can go a long pause, they can go short pause. Mixing in, you know, separate pickoff attempts. This one's going to be chopped over towards Snyder at first base. They're just going to take the out over there at first. Going to leave Jin out there at second. So 3 unassisted in the scorebook and 1 away on the scoreboard. Rodney Rachel now due up. He's 0 for 2. Runner in scoring position
Batter number 9
for the first time this evening for him. He has popped up on a bunt attempt all the way back in the first inning, then struck out swinging. As he steps into the batter's box to the song melodies of Soldier Boys. Crank that. 0-0 here to the left fielder.
So this is one of those areas where I am fully and understandably deficient to you in terms of musical knowledge, especially of anything in the 21st century.
The Crank That, the dance that came along with that song, Soldier Boy, was one of the first viral dances that I can remember. Viral because of the internet. Saw it a bunch on YouTube, watching YouTube videos on how to crank that, even though he tells you in the song how you crank that Soldier Boy. But I digress. Rodney Rachel's at the plate with a runner on base and 1 away as I have broke Justin Thomas out of character. So here goes Fulmer on the 0-0 to Rachel. As this one is going to be fouled straight back. We'll do it here at 0-1 as we're seeing a couple of the lights turn on here at Alumni Field. Only 2 poles, or 3 are warming up. We'll see if they put them all on.
Decidedly much more overcast here in about the last inning and a half or so. Certainly. As you see on your screen at home, in fact.
So here's the 0-1. Fulmer kicks, deals, misses outside and upstairs. 1-1's the count.
Wow, this is not the case anymore. Once upon a time, up until 1988, I believe.
Yeah. If I know where you're going.
Wrigley Field
Yes.
did not have lights.
That's true.
So one of the things, of course, that you saw there, unlike what you're seeing today, is you would see the plate covered in shade, but not the pitcher mound.
So that's in there for a strike.
So if you're familiar with the ace reliever Lee Smith,
yeah,
he would get those twilight saves, and he was hard enough to hit anyways. Imagine if you're shrouded by shade and you're seeing 95 coming in at your head, and you're trying to figure out in the second if you're going to swing or not.
You're tickling at my heart cords talking about some classic Cubs. So here's the 1-2. As this one's going to be hammered into right center field. I don't think anybody's going to be there for it as it rattles up against the wall. 1 run will score. We'll see if Rachel tries to stretch it to the third. There's going to be a play over there at third base, but Rachel slides in safe for a triple. 4-0 our score as Jimmy Nugent crosses home plate. Rodney Rachel sending one to right center field, showing the power is still there in the early going of this season.
Second triple of the year inside of 5 team games. Mercy.
Now, I will tell you, if Coach Treadway tries to tell you that that would have been a home run due to the wind, I'd call his fib there. I don't think the wind had too much to do with it as he sends it to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark, right center field. But a runner on third base for Caleb Chorley. 4-0 our score, 1 away. Breaking ball, Fulmer still in there. Haven't seen any McNick Rockets go warm up in the visitors' bullpen. Chorley, of course, got the 4th inning rocking with a double and 1 out down the left field line. He's 1 for 2 on the day. The 0-1 misses upstairs, bringing it to 1-1. The infield is in. Camden Yards and Stat well out of position. Snyder a few steps in front, as is the third baseman, Durkin. 1-1 the count here to Chorley. This ball is going to be hit well out into left center field. Giving chase is Wang, and he'll be underneath it for an out, but the run will score. Chorley just missed an extra base hit, but got the run in regardless. It's 5-0.
For Chorley, that is his 8th RBI already this year.
So now we'll see Cooper Fear come up. He reached first on a bunt single his last time. 1 for 2 on the evening. He came around and scored. As he checks swings, they're going to call it a strike. 0-1's the counts. Great job by Wang out there in center field. He was a left-handed center fielder who tracked that ball down. It was hit well by Chorley.
And I'm glad to see Cooper get a hit, and here's the reason why. I was texting in the midnight hour with Cooper's dad, Chris, and this is one of the things we were talking about.
As this one is just beyond the outreach glove of Camden Yards. As this one's going to be a base knock. Now, typically, if you get it out of play of Camden, you get 4 bags, but in this ball game, it's just a single. So we're going to see Diego DiCello step in.
That's beautiful.
As Cooper Fear is going to be on first base with a big lead. His right foot just on the edge of the cutout out there for the first baseman, Tyler Snyder. Fulmer still out there in trouble, as the first pitch is a breaking ball, which as the game has progressed has become more and more the norm of first pitch ball working backwards on these hitters. DiCello, he has reached base twice, once on an error and last inning on a bunt. As this ball is going to miss downstairs in the dirt, another breaking ball. It's 1-1 to the second baseman.
I'm going to finish up that point on Cooper. In talking with his dad, Chris, last night, we were talking about the early slow start for Cooper, 1 for 11 coming into this ballgame, and I said he'd get his today, and I'm glad that Cooper has seen fit to make me an honest man.
Has had a great game thus far. Undoubtedly will be fantastic at the next level over there for the Express. Pioneer Express at Marietta. National champions looking for another national championship this year at the Division III level. Badin Rams over there, Drew Holderbach and Sam Matthews. As Cooper Fear is going to be running, but Diego DiCello fouls that one. And we'll do it again at 1-2.
By the way, I want to send out condolences to the DiCello family. They lost Diego and his brother's grandfather in the last week. They'll be out of town, I guess, this weekend, as I understand it, for the funeral.
It's a terrible part of life. 1-2 is the count here. From Fulmer to DiCello. This ball is going to be hit and through the infield as Cooper Fear's going to round second, and Wang's going to have no play as Cooper slows into third base. Back-to-back two-out singles for the Badin Rams will send up Brady Imhoff with 2 away and 2 on.
7th base hit of the ball game for the Badin running Rams. And given the way this game had started out, how slowly from an offensive standpoint, I mean, these hits have come in bunches here in the last couple of innings. And good heads-up running, by the way, for Cooper Fear. It's not that Wang was particularly lollygagging in the outfield going to the ball.
And making a third base hit from the bottom half of the order as DiCello's going to round second. We're going to have a play as Wang throws one on the money. The tag is not there in time, as though it was a beautiful throw from the center fielder Wang, Durkin does not lay it on DiCello, and wisely Brady Imhoff takes second base on the extended throw over to third. So runners on second and third, another run plates in Cooper Fear, and we're going to see a visit at the mound.
And this may be the end of the line for Drew Fulmer, who pitched really well, especially in the front half of the ball game. The first 4 innings, he looked outstanding, and he's going to come off the hill and be replaced.
So we're going to step aside for the new pitcher, get some information on him. It's 6-0 here with 2 away in the bottom half of the 5th inning. You're watching Chatterbox Live. 6-0 our score, as we're going to see Mark Holderbach step in here. Runners on second and third, 3 consecutive hits for the Badin Rams, making a 6-0 ball game with 2 away. And Geoff, who's on the mound for the Rockets?
Tyler Helvey, lefty, making his appearance. He's pitching 3. He got 3 innings under his belt this year. 5 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a 14 earned run average.
So Helvey's first pitch to Holderbach's going to be in there for a called strike. Holderbach with a nice day today. 1 for 2, a 2 RBI single all the way back just last inning, as that really put Badin on the board. Gave them a 3-0 lead. They've tacked on 3 more this inning, looking for a couple more. As this one's going to be fouled straight back, bringing it to 0-2 against the starting right fielder.
You mentioned the last inning. He really broke this game open, by the way, with that 2-run single.
So 0-2 here for the southpaw. DiCello on third, Imhoff on second, and, you know, just working out through. We need pitch comms out there. Here comes the 0-2. This ball is going to miss, stairs, and outside.
So I know that was in the game today, the first game of the Major League season between Milwaukee and Chicago. Your thoughts?
Well, all I know is that the Cubs are currently the number 1 team in Major League Baseball, so they're 1-0. But I like pitch comms. I don't dislike it. I'm not a stargent for the old way that baseball has always been played. I like innovation. I like change. This one misses upstairs and out. And I think over time, all teams will adopt the pitch comms. 2-2. 2 runners on, 2 away here for Mark Holderbach. This ball misses outside again, as 3 consecutive pitches will miss out and up. Holdie steps in, full counts. Chance to really seal this one for the Rams with a base knock here. As this one misses downstairs in the dirt. It'll be a walk, and the bases will be juice for the leadoff hitter, Lucas Moore, as he's the 9th batter to come up this inning. He's struggled today, 0 for 3, 2 Ks. Flew out to left field as well. But a chance to put those woes away with a big base knock.
It goes without saying Lucas is due.
First pitch here, lefty on lefty action, as this one bounces 54 feet. Let's make it 1-0 here to the starting center. Now, for what it's worth, if Moore was to plate this inning, That would be the game-winning run for a run rule, as it is starting to rain out here at Alumni Field. Thank God I put a trash bag around our camera out there in left field, though you can see the lens starting to tear up a little bit. 2-0's the count. I will tell you, if any of that equipment gets hurt, I'm going to be looking at a severe pay decrease as this one misses upstairs, bringing it to 3-0.
So 7 straight out of the strike zone. 4 to the last batter, Holderbach, and 3 now to Lucas Moore. At some point, you just need to get me over strike.
3-0 here. And that misses downstairs, played another run. As give the RBI to Lucas Moore as Diego will cross home. Makes it a 7-0 ball game. Bases still loaded. Now with Jimmy Nugent up, who walked and eventually came around and scored as the rain is persisting. We've avoided it for the great majority of this game. We'll keep you, for the most part, with the wide angle, but just to show you the rain on the lens that is persisting. This pitch misses upstairs to Jimmy Nugent. He's 0 for 1 on the day, walked twice. We've shown a good eye.
You believe in the 3 outcomes? The 3 true outcomes?
Well, I believe there's more than outcomes than that, but for the most part, it's been pretty good for Jimmy Nugent, as he's shown 2 of them today, as swung on and missed.
Well, I think you're getting to my point, I think.
Sure. 1-1. Here goes Helvey on the 1-1, as this one's going to be in. He's got to figure it out here, as the run rule is sitting over there on first base in the form of Lucas Moore. 2-1 our count.
So is it truly a walk-off if you have a run rule?
You walk off the field, so by definition, it works for me. 2-1. And that's going to be in there for a called strike, and that was certainly a gift from the home plate umpires. That one really wasn't near the zone. Just gave a struggling pitcher a hand. 2-2's the count. 2-2. 2 away, bases juice for Jimmy Nugent as he swung on and missed, as that will conclude the bottom half of the 5th inning, but not before 4 runs were plated for the Badin Rams. They're up in control, 7-0 over the McNick Rockets. Stay tuned, you're watching Chatterbox Live. It's the top half of the 6th inning, 7-0 our score. Thank you for joining us along. I'm Reid Mouse, and taking you the rest of the way is our very own Geoff Kim.
Reid, thank you very much. 7 runs on 8 base hits. 7 left on for the Badin Rams. On the other side, no runs on 4 hits. 3 have been left on for the McNick Rockets. And we'll look to see if today's starting pitcher, Justin Hoevel, will go back on for his 6th inning of work. He's got a shutout that he's working on right now, a gem on a 4-hitter so far. To reset the dimensions, by the way, 330 down the left field lines, 325 to right, 370 to straightaway center, 6-foot walls here at Alumni Field.
Leading off top of the 6 for the Rockets.
And we got the top of the lineup here now with Jackson Wang to be followed by Ben Bobo and Tyler Snyder. 7-0. Badin up by a touchdown over McNick here this afternoon. A long break, by the way, for today's starting pitcher. But he throws one in there. Ball 1 just low and away a bit here for Hoevel on Jackson Wang. Wang waits, and the fastball rides high and away, up and away, 2-0. Jackson flew out to right in the first, grounded out to third, back in the third, 0 for 2. Inside, 3-0, so the first 3 have yet to cross the plate for Hoevel. And you would imagine that Brian Treadway will give him some leeway, given the 7-run lead after Badin has pushed across 3 back in the third, beg your pardon, in the fourth, and then 4 in the last frame, and there's Joker strike, 3-1. You pitch to the score, and when you're up by 7, you have some room to work, and another strike. So after Hoevel misses 3 off the plate, he gets 2 in the strike zone. We go full. Here's the payoff pitch. Popped up, fouled back, above our heads, out of play, and we'll do it again. To reset, Rodney Rachel in left, Lucas Moore in center, Mark Clark in right field. Foul back again. Third to first, around the horn, Cooper Fear at third, Landon Vidrick at short, Diego DiCello at second, Caleb Chorley at first base. Jimmy Nugent is catching Justin Hoevel. Hoevel, by the way, as he's working here into the 6th inning, has now pitched 9 innings of scoreless baseball this season over 2 starts. He had a 4-inning no-hit start where he gave up an unearned run to Alter in his last appearance. And this one's in the air to center field. Lucas Moore, 1 out. So the full count pitch after a couple of foul outs. A pitch at bat results in the first out and a fly ball to center to Lucas Moore. Ben Bobo to the plate, 1 for 2.
7, Ben Bobo.
A hit and a base back in the first when it looked like McNick was going to get something going in that frame, and then he popped to the shortstop back in the 3rd inning. 1 for 2, strike 1. Working a little faster, ground ball, and this one apparently fouled at the plate before straightening out inside the first baseline, and it's 0-2. Closed the book, by the way, on Drew Fulmer. Pitched 4 2/3 innings in this afternoon for McNick. Gave up 8 base hits, 7 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He's on the hook for the loss.
Trainer for the Rams is Ethan Sellers.
So after a quick short timeout, waiting on the 0-2 to Bobo. 2-strike offering. It's a waste pitch, down and away, 1-2. Well, at this point of the ball game, there's no use in wasting pitches. Just go ahead and attack the strike zone. Here's the 1-2. It's in the air to left. Rodney Rachel towards the line, a couple of steps, 2 out. I don't know if Hoevel will get a chance to complete this, but right now he's working on a shutout here in the top half of the 6th, 1 away from completing the 6th. Tyler Snyder to the plate. 1 for 2, got a base hit, was left stranded technically. Well, he was not stranded in the 4th. He got to 3rd base and a called strike and was erased on a 6-3-2 double play, and I think that changed the whole complexion of the ball game this afternoon. And this one floats outside, 1-1. Should Snyder get on, it'll be Houston Durkin. Hoevel has checked McNick on 4 hits and a fly ball into right center field. Back and away, back she goes, and it's off the wall. Lucas Moore throws it back into the infield, and a ringing double that just kept going for Tyler Snyder, his 2nd hit of the ball game. And we got timeout called.
Snyder, 2-out double.
As Brian Treadway came rushing down to the mound. I think he's going to exit the ball game. He will. So 2 outs deep into this ball game. He still has the shutout intact for Badin. He'll exit 7-0. Waiting to see who's coming in to relieve him, to possibly put a capper to that out. But 5 2/3. 5 hits, no runs, but the runner at second is his responsibility. Doing a count up on this, as we're trying to do this on the fly. 4 strikeouts this afternoon, no walks for Hoevel. And he's in position for the win, his second against no losses this year. As Badin looks to go 5-0 out of the gate, the #1 team in the state. As you can see on your screen, we have a right-hander on the hill.
New pitcher for the Rams, number 21, Corbin Ausman.
So Corbin Ausman comes in, junior pitcher, right-hander, making his second appearance, has pitched an inning, given up a base hit, 3 runs, 1 of which have been earned, a walk, 2 strikeouts. He is 1-0 this season with a 7 ERA. So he comes in relief of the starter today, Hoevel. He pitched 5 2/3. Again, the runner at second is his responsibility. First offering by Ausman is way outside, ball 1. Had some velo on that one. The sun, or the remnants of the sun, trying to peek out a little bit more. I think that just might be the lights really starting to come into phase here, and a swinging strike, 1-1. One and one the count. Snyder over at second with a liberal lead there. The check of second, and Ausman deals. Swing and a miss. Durkin swung through that one, 1-2. Houston Durkin at the plate, 1 for 2. Got a base hit back in the 4th. Reached second on a wild pitch and was left on base on that 6-3-2 double play that ended the frame. Here's the 1-2. And he sidewinds this one as it rises up high, 2-2 wild. Should Durkin reach, it'll be Pierce Taylor, the catcher. Right now, this is a season of streaks. McNick in the middle of a 2-game losing streak. It's been a 4-game winning streak to start the year. And a called third strike. Got him looking. Inning over. We are through 5.5. A hit, a runner left, and we go to the bottom of the frame. 7-0 Badin on Chatterbox Live. To the bottom of the 6th we go, 7-0. Badin in control of this one, along with Reid Mouse. I'm Geoff Kent. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Live. Partner, it looks like Badin's on their way to 5-0.
Yeah, it certainly does. You know, the big third and 4th and 5th inning, 3 and 4 in those last 2 innings will treat you well, right? Late runs and hanging a 0 is a good recipe. It's tough to lose when you don't give up any runs, and though McNick still has a bat to give, and looking pretty good for the Badin Rams.
It was small ball, especially in that frame 2 innings ago, partner, that really allowed Badin to push across those runs, and after that it's just insurance and tack-ons. And so small ball has gone into the way of conventional ball, and they've got their 7 runs on 8 base hits. Right now, as far as Badin is concerned, no runs on 5 base hits this afternoon for McNick.
Tell you what, both starting pitchers did a great job of the day, too. I know Fulmer gave up 6 there at the tail end of his outing, but just was probably kept too long out there. He still did a fantastic job hanging zeros up until that 5th inning.
And Hoevel has yet to give up a run this season. 9 innings. He went 5 2/3 this afternoon. Gave up 5 base hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts, and he is in line for the win this afternoon. 3-4-5 coming up for Badin in the forms of Landon Viderick, Rodney Rachel, and Caleb Chorley. And the pitch down and away, ball 1. And that's 13 out there. Bobby Diana, who is the starting DH. Our 3rd pitcher of the day has come on in.
He's got a good lively arm out there on the mound. Big kid, almost similar to Hoevel in his delivery and then size.
So Nick Solazzo goes a 1/3 of an inning, doesn't give up anything in terms of runs. And Diana on the hill, 2-0. And it's in the air to right field. Actually, right center field as it comes back. And it's Wang who collects it for the first out.
Bitter got a lot of that one. Just a little too much underneath it. Put it all the way back out there near the fence, near the wall. Now, I do got to tell a funny story back when I was getting that camera out near the right center field wall. That's right about the time that the double was hit towards the right center field wall. And Mark Holderbach and Lucas Moore, as I'll extend the story for a second here.
Rodney Rachel at the plate.
But certainly they met at typically when you're outfitters, you tell each other, hey, you got room, you got room. Mark Holderbach actually told Lucas Moore, you got room, as the ball was making contact with the fence. And he looked right at Mark and said, no, I didn't.
And there's a strike. And the sun is fighting its way back here at dusk.
Yeah, shining through the clouds right now.
Well, it's Ohio weather. If you don't like it, wait 20 minutes. 1-1 the count. Big swing on a miss on a change of pace downstairs. 1-2. Beauty.
Yeah, we've seen Rachel come up empty on a few swings, and they're heart-healthy hacks, right? Finds the barrel a lot, but misses it entirely sometimes too.
Tripled his last time up to drive in a run and later scored, and this one downstairs.
I like that 1-2 pitch. Now it's all about coming back here on 2-2.
Rodney has extra base power, his 2nd triple of the year in the last time up. To go along with 3 doubles. That's a lot here in the early season. Inside. And we go full.
He had a dance out of danger there. Never understood the people that could just stand in there and turn their back. I was get out of Dodge.
So we wait on the payoff. I have a cowardly story to tell you on that. Foul tip. And the catcher hangs on, I think.
They fouled all the way back to the backstop.
Oh, here we go. And they'll reset. So I remember in my days of calling college ball over at Wright State, and this is, if you were alive on the planet, I'm trying to remember. That's how long ago it's been. But we would have the occasional screamer back into the press box where it would just be above a short net, but have enough velo to get in underneath the open window. And it was Duck City for me. I was hiding underneath tables when that was happening. Here's the pitch, and it's a walk.
Hey, there's no heroes in the press box, right?
Absolutely.
First baseman Caleb Chorley.
So Rodney Rachel is the 1-out base runner, and Caleb Chorley will come to the plate. 7-0 here in Fairfield this afternoon. The Rams have pitched a gem, a combined shutout so far for Hoevel and for Ausman. Runner with a secondary lead, foul back to the screen. Caleb had a sac fly back in the last frame. Looks like I had a good game. Has doubled back in the fourth. Came around to score. This one inside, and Rachel steals second.
Yeah, Chorley, going back to the day he's had, he's found the barrel twice. Pulled one down the line and just barely missed the one that he hit out to left center field. Wang actually in center field did a good job tracking that one down, or it was smelling for extra base hits.
Rodney Rachel has stolen his fifth base so far. Power and speed by the young man. And this one lined into right center field, base hit. Rachel around third. The green light for him. He'll come home on a double to right. 8-0.
Chorley for the third time today, just getting the barrel in. You know, he's put one down the left field line, hit one really well out to left center, laced one over the second baseman's head to right center right there for the extra base hits. He's done fantastic today at the plate.
Cooper Fear.
Chorley has picked up his second RBI the day, his ninth so far of the year as he plates Rachel from second. 8-0, and boy, has the sun come back in full effect. It's almost like revenge against the overcast clouds that we had just seen 5 minutes ago. Ball one. Here's the pitch inside. It does get Cooper.
That's the third time this inning that Diana has missed on the inside, and he just lowers his arm, almost sidearm, 3/4. So those are bound to happen when you come from that delivery. Just losing it a little bit, finally finds the batter's back.
So here's DiCello with 2 men on. Fears a base runner for the third time this afternoon. Yeah, the bunt base hit back in the fourth, and then the conventional one, and came around to score back in the fifth, and then was just hit by the pitch. So here's DiCello, who singled in his last time around, and he came around to score. Reached on an error also back in the second. So 1-0 to Diego. Brady Imhoff is waiting on deck, and I guess these are the running Rams that we really thought we need this afternoon. And the pitch, just a bit inside. 2-0.
We are going to see, looks like Sean Miller going in there for Cooper Fear over there at first base. Wonder if Cooper's got Nick there in the process after getting hit by a pitch and just, up 8 runs already.
So Miller now at first in place of Fear. And Chorley at second. And the fastball rides off the plate, it looked like, and giving him the outside corner was Ed Melling at home plate, and he gets a strike. 2-1. Line drive, caught by the shortstop. He steps on second. That's a double play, and that's how the side is retired here in the frame. But a run crosses, and we've got a brand new score here in Fairfield after 6. 8-0 Badin here on Chatterbox Live. To the 7th we go. Nothing Badin as the Rams look to complete the shutout en route to a 5-0 record. Along with Reid Mouse, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Live. Justin Thomas, our producer this afternoon. Partner, when we think about, as we start to think about wrapping this one up, even though we've got 3 more outs to go, I think the story of this one is going to be just a meandering tale. Really great starting pitching through the front 4, and then all of a sudden the game came undone by small ball, and Badin just kind of became Badin after that.
It's your typical high school game, right? I mean, both teams put out good arms, good guys out on the bump, and then as the game kind of waned and weren't on and more stress was put on those pitchers' arms, all it took was, one too many circumstances to just go the opposite way, right?
New third
You know,
baseman for the
base
Rays,
runners
number
were
one,
getting on all
Sean
game long. All it took
Miller.
was, you know, one bunt to be placed, one misplay in the field. And that's typically the tale of high school baseball.
Leading off the top of the 7th for your Rockets, number 14.
So here's Pierce Taylor. It's Taylor, Yards, and Diana. 5, 6, and 7 here in the arsenal for McNick. Trying to get on the board, down 8-0 here in the 7th in the first pitch. Down and away, ball 1 to Taylor. Partner, your team won today. When I say your team, I do mean the Chicago Cubs.
Yes,
Opening
America's
day.
team.
Well, maybe America's team, not my team, and we get the inside strike. So says Ed Melling at home plate, 1-1. But they did win today.
They did.
My team will play tomorrow, and this one rides high, a fastball, 2-1. The Minnesota Twins will play the Seattle Mariners tomorrow. Their game scheduled for today had been pushed back due to, of course, weather, especially in the Great White North. And this one, a high fly, a pop-up in the infield. The first baseman calls for it. Charlie records it, and that's the first out of the 7th.
Worth mentioning, Sean Miller did stay in the game over there at third base in replacement of Cooper Fear after he got hit.
One out to batter number 2, Cam Yards.
Well, good eye for you and a little lazy one for me here. So Miller over at third. And Camden Yards. And you really do hope that his parents are big Baltimore Oriole fans.
I don't know if they're, per se Baltimore Oriole fans, but possibly just fans of the game. One of the true hallmarks of baseball.
So I bring up the Twins playing tomorrow for a very succinct reason. Here's the 1-0. And right down the heart of the plate. Cut it right in two, 1-1.
Yeah, great tail on it.
So 40 years ago yesterday, the Twins and the Mariners opened up what was then the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Back to the pitcher and deflected to Miller. He can't get it. It's an infield base hit.
Yeah, Miller had a chance there on the deflection. We'll see if pitcher's okay, but just lace one right off the heel.
And you hope it was really on the heel as opposed to higher up on the ankle. The way it caromed to third base and to Miller, you feel like it got more right.
Certainly.
So we've got a stoppage in play, and we'll continue to talk, wax eloquently about this. Had you seen a game, by the way, in the old Metrodome before they tore it down?
Yeah, of course. Well, I've watched games at the Metrodome. I've never been to the Twin Cities and saw a game there.
I'm going to tell you, as much as I love the Minnesota Twins, and they've won 2 World Series championships in my lifetime, and this one off the glove of the catcher and all the way back to the netting, and the man over at first in Yards goes to second.
Takes away the goal. Double play there.
So Diana will work on the 1-0 count. He came in to pitch in the last frame. Has given up a run. So they did tear down the Metrodome in advance of the 2010 regular season. Swing and a miss. But the Metrodome opening up happened 40 years ago yesterday.
I don't know if you've watched the Big Ten Network baseball games frequently, but they play some games. The University of Minnesota plays at the Vikings. Vikings Arena, and they make it look like the Metrodome.
That is correct. What is it? Is it U.S. Bank Stadium?
I'm not sure the name of it, but I am correct in the fact that they make it look like you're playing at the Metrodome. I don't know what you'd call what was in right field at the Metrodome, but
the baggie.
Yeah,
they call it the baggie, where Kent Herbeck would hit towering shots over it. 1-2. I do miss the baggie. I don't miss the roof. And watching a game there was okay. It's a major league game. 1-2, and a fastball rides outside. 2-2. Runner at second, that's Yards. By the way, Camden Yards is a favorite ballpark. Have you seen a game there?
At Camden Yards? I have not. I've only been to about 5 stadiums, and none too crazy from the perimeter that we're currently in, other than Los Angeles. Went to the Dodger Stadium.
Meanwhile, swings and misses on a third strike, so there's 2 down. And Kyle Anstad represents the final out here of this ball game.
I actually had tickets to Wrigley Field today. And
you chose to stay here with me?
Chose Alumni Field. Some things are bigger than baseball, or at least the Cubs, and that's you, Geoff. That's our partnership.
You know, I got to tell you, for the second straight week, you have buttered me up very seriously. I think the check is fully in the mail. There's his first strike. Nothing in one. Open stance for Anstad, waiting. The check of second. And the step off. So good to see Ausman okay after that wicked ricochet off his heel for the infield base hit. Little chopper down towards third, strike two. So we're down to a final strike. Eight nothing here at Alumni Field. Badin on the cusp of going 5-0 to start the season. After a year in which they won, I believe, 27 games and went to the state Final Four. The long look of second once more. Ausman deals. And a line shot into right field. Base hit. And a stop sign. I don't know why you make the stop here in this situation with two down, and we have runners on the corners. So Anstad gets on for the first time this after he had the hit.
Well, the only reason to send him there is to take away the shutout, get one run across. But, you know, if you actually want to make a two-out rally at this one and, you know, get eight, 9 runs across here, make the safe play there because you're going to need a lot more hits coming up.
By the way, while we have a timeout, as we have a conference call and Brian Treadway out on the hill, want to say hello to my friends who I had breakfast with today. Ginger and Alex Swire-Clark, who'd come up from South Carolina. They have a daughter who is participating in the Winter Guard International competition at the Nutter Center up in Dayton. And I got to meet their youngest daughter, Phoebe, who was all interested in the scorecard and the notes that I had put out. And she wanted to know a little bit more about baseball, so I figured this is a perfect time to tell her hello. We're thinking about her, and we want her to become the next big baseball fan.
That's awesome. Nothing better than keeping score. And I noticed you call it the Nutter Center, not the house that Geoff Kim built.
Strike one. Yes, you are. I was mentioning to my friends, by the way, at breakfast today, that there would be days where I felt like I lived there during basketball tournament times because I was there literally on a daily basis. And fly ball in the center field. In comes Lucas Moore, and the shutout is preserved. 8-0 the final here at Alumni Field as Badin goes to 5-0. So a combined 7-hitter this afternoon. The win goes to Justin Hoevel, who went 5 2/3. He gets the win, 2-0. Nice bit of relief pitching by Ausman to close things up. He won't get the save for it, but he does preserve the win, 8-0 this afternoon.
Final score from Alumni Field.
Partner, as we put a wrapper to this one, hard to think about our play of the game, but I'm going to put you on the spot. What's your choice?
Well, I certainly think that the biggest play of the game was McNick is, you know, on the door of getting some runs across and getting the first runs up all the way back. That was the top half of the fourth inning. Runners on second and third, one away, and they get themselves into a double play after striking out. So they had runners on second and third, nobody away, and still get no runs across. Certainly the double play was the bigger play of the two, and then the rest is history. Badin puts up 3 runs in the 5th, 4 runs in the 7th, and tack on 1 more in the 6th, and win this game 8-0. You really got to think about if McNick gets 1 or 2 runs in that inning, how it changes the complexion of this one.
Right. At what point then do you put a tighter leash on Hoevel? He never had the leash, right? Because after the Badin had come back and responded with 3 runs, he was in cruise control for the rest of the time he was out there until he was pulled in the 6th. So that's our play of the game, powered by Headline Sportswear. And, you can see them. Go make sure that you're taking care of business. Of course, you see Badin out there, nicely adorned by our fans, our friends over at Headlines. Partner, as we put a wrapper on this one again, Badin goes to 5-0. It didn't look like a normal Badin rally or team this afternoon from an offensive standpoint. They put it together in the middle innings and then won convincingly. It's the pitching that has been so impressive. They collect their first shutout of the year.
And they get another shutout, and they don't quite get 10 runs, which is near what they were averaging. Actually, they were averaging over that. They get 8, but, the pitching's still there. The bats came on late, hit extra base hits. Finally, once they got Fulmer in a little bit of a funk, it started coming on. You got to start wondering, if they could get those runs started earlier, right? Get the top half of the order and really put some runs up early in the ball game and keep the throttle down.
Again, the final 8-0 final thoughts.
Both teams are going to be fine. McNick, off to a tough start this season. It's their fourth coach in their fourth year in a row, and they're just still trying to find the groove. They got good athletes, got some young guys. They've played some tough teams again this season. They're going to be just fine. Badin looking to make another run at state.
Well, and if nothing else, I'll put a postscript on what you just mentioned. Brian Gadio, who talked a little bit about their last effort against Badin on Monday. He was disappointed by the 6 errors. They really cleaned it up defensively, held the bases on balls down a whole lot more this afternoon. He got a better effort from his team.
Yeah, they didn't give any free passes, many free passes away. Fulmer did a good job at keeping them off the base paths, and then just the single error. They played a pretty clean ball game. Just that the middle innings were just too much for them.
Partner, it was a fun one, if nothing else. I can't wait to see you next week for week number 4.
Should be exciting.
Again, the final here this afternoon. 8-0. A shutout here for the Badin Rams as they move to 5-0. McNick, the Rockets, fall to a record of 1-4. The win goes to Justin Hoevel. The loss to Drew Palmer. Thanks go out to our producer this afternoon, Justin Thomas. For the mighty one, Reid Mouse, I'm Geoff Kim. We bid you so long from Alumni Field in Fairfield. We'll see you next week.